Typically in the morning, you wait at the shanty till 7 o'clock. You go in at 7, you start making your way up the ladder, climbing up the steel. Every 2 floors, you plank it off. Then you disconnect the bottom of the mast and you tie it to the boom at the top of the choking cable. You get a heavy block on the job. It probably weighs 200, 250 pounds, something like that. I started when I was 18 years old working structural steel. I worked on towers 120, 130 feet high. See, most people are afraid of heights like that. So automatically, every ironworker has an ego. So you're doing something somebody else can't do. And you get to wear a tool belt. When you're 18 years old and you have wrenches in your holster, you're like a cowboy or a sailor. If I put a 2x4 on the floor, I couldn't knock you off with a stick. But if I hoist that up 50 feet up and a little gust of wind comes and you overreact, you're going to end up falling off. That's why most ironworkers start off as kids. When you're 18 and just out of school, the guy next to you walked the beam, you're going to try walking the beam too. Ironworkers very rarely fall in the hole. That's what our term is. If you fall off the building, they fall in the hole. We talk about it a lot amongst ourselves. You ironwork long enough, you're going to get some real scared. I noticed myself, I get a copper taste. You know, if you put a penny in your mouth when you were a kid, you know, that taste, it's the taste of fear, I guess. As you get older, you reconcile yourself to the fact that it's easier to drop down and coon across the beam, we call it. It's easier, but you lose all the hair on the inside of your legs. You can always tell an ironworker because they don't have hair on the insides of their legs. Another bad thing, up here we don't have outhouses or anything like that, so we piss in the columns. Everybody's always drunk the night before, so they're always expelling themselves down these columns. But the problem is, eventually, it's going to happen where you have to work down below. The worst thing in the world is you have to burn something down there. It's like cooking a toilet. But I always knew I wanted to be an ironworker. My older brothers were ironworkers, and my father was an ironworker, so it was a natural course of event. My father was very disappointed I didn't go to college. We had a college boy at work this summer. One time he saw a book in my back pocket, and he was amazed. He says to me, "You read? That's what gets to you. The non-recognition by other people. To say a man is just a laborer, a woman is just a housewife, it bothers you sometimes. Sometimes, some mornings, I look across the skyline for a building I worked on, say, that office building there, and I look down and I can see a big fancy car pulling into the parking garage I built, and I know some guy from the burbs is driving it, and I know he's never going to think about me. But I think about him, driving his air-conditioned car into his air-conditioned office, just sitting there, sitting back and enjoying the ride.